This is the latest version of the Renault Zoe. This electric car is the R110 ZE40 model. Not a terribly catchy name, I have to say, but it still has to be a good car even though it is all electric. So we're going to test it just like we test every other car around here these days. So grab a cup of tea, stick that subscribe button, make sure that's red, while I unlock the doors, get in and show you around the inside of a Renault Zoe. All right, well, I hope you've taken me off pause now and you have your cup of tea to hand, right? So let's look at this electric car. My first impression immediately is that I'm sitting very high in the car. There is no height adjustment on the seats, which I find a little bit weird these days. At least I can't find any. If anyone knows that there is height adjustment, you let me know, because I can't see it anywhere. There is some sort of lumbar support, which goes on like a guillotine in your spine. Not great in the back. And then the seats are actually reclined by a knob over this side, not this side. But there's no height adjustment. I've routed everywhere, I still can't find it. So, not there, and it feels like I'm very tall in the car. Also, the steering wheel, when you want to adjust it, has a handle weight on there, does have rake and reach up and down. So that kind of compensates for not having a height adjustment on the seat, but I still feel like I'm sitting very tall inside the car. Materials in here, this is plastic up on top here, but there's a thing about weight. You have to have a light car if you want to go far. That's how electric cars work. There's no alternative to that. It's going to have to be light. The little dashboard is all electronic here in the middle. It shows me my range consistently up in one corner. And shows me a few other details as well about my trip and my information. Then I have the infotainment system in the middle, which is fairly basic and kind of hard to use. Renault systems tend not to be great, like Nissan systems tend not to be great. Although we won't talk about the Renault-Nissan alliance and what's happening right now, because it's falling apart. A single USB port up the front, a little kind of a dump hole there with a 12-volt socket as well. There's a little slot there, which you can only assume is for your key. There's an eco button. We're going to come to that eco button when we're driving. Then beneath that I have a cruise control and a speed limiter. There is a gear knob, proper one, big one, but it is still an automatic, just P or ND. And then you have a physical proper handbrake that's there as well. Moving over to this side, there's a lovely chrome top to this and some lovely little design touches here and there. And then you have a glove box, which is minuscule. I mean, it's got a little tiny slot and a little tiny slot back there. And that's it. Not really. You get your gloves in it. That's it, right? As a glove box was intended. Through the center console here, I can fit a cup that size in cup holders. There's two of them there. And there's like a sunglasses holder on that side. And I do have a door bin over here. Infotainment system is run through Bose speakers here. Really top-notch speakers. The speaker system is worth the money, right? Is that going to bell 12 times? That might be it. Yep, that's it. All right. Can I just point out I was 2 minutes early? Should have happened at 12 o'clock. It's only 2 minutes to 12. So, infotainment system. When you turn that on, you realise you're stuck in the R-Link system, which is the Renault's own model. Clunky would be the word I would use for most of that system. Same in Nissan, don't get me wrong. Most Japanese or well, Citroen, Renault, they all seem to use this very clunky design, which isn't conducive to just ease of use. It just isn't. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. Right. Anyway, but besides that, there is some natty factors in it. So if I actually start the car, it makes a lovely tune. Tune. But it also has some cool bits in it, like the outside air quality, which is listed here and tells you if it's polluted, kind of a little bit polluted, or good air outside. And actually keeps a record of what the air quality was like outside and changes the system of where it draws air from as you drive along the road. And I quite like that. It's just one of those little things you think, well, that's good. Also has energy flow built in as well. It tells you where the energy of the car is being used at the moment. Currently I'm not using anything, but if I actually turn on the air conditioning, you will see that the thing will pick up that and will start to draw air towards the air conditioner. When you turn it off again, you see that it takes away that power. Now, when you go home, you're brought into this menu here. When you click menu, you're brought into a different menu. So if you actually want to, say, play the radio, you click that and it shows you radio stations. But to play your Bluetooth from this screen, you have to click home, you have to click menu, you have to click multimedia, and then you'll be given a list of things that are available for you to play from. It's then media, and it's very clunky, Renault, like properly clunky. It's too many clicks in the menus. Now, going away from that for a minute. Oh, by the way, you do get sat nav in this one. That's why it's called nav 11040. Anyway, the air conditioning system is run on a heat pump, which is run internally, so the car can draw a lot of heat, particularly heat, without drawing a lot of power. It still uses power, don't get me wrong. It's still going to impact your range to run air conditioning and heat systems in a car like this, but not quite as bad. This one also has heated seats. So the Renault Zoe is probably the most affordable electric car, one of the most affordable on the market at the moment, but this one is a shade over 30. There's quite a bit of options on this one, but you can get a basic Renault Zoe with the steel rims on it for less than 25. So it's fairly decent, and it's got a decent range. Range will come to in a big way very soon, but you're talking about 300 kilometers usable. Now, I'm not keen on the seating position, but as electric cars goes, it's just about the same as all the rest of them. I think I'm too high inside the car, but I could get used to it. I think I'd probably get used to it over time, but it's actually quite a nice looking car to sit in and use. It's very stylish on the outside. Let's start now on the back seat and see if that is the same. So there's a weird door handle on the outside, but that's okay. You get used to the weird door handle. So when you get in, it's actually easy entry, but I'm very high up in the car. My head is touching the roof in the back of this. Door clunk is okay. The seats in front of you realise how dark it is. It's very dark in here. But the seats at the back here have zips on them, so you can actually take these covers off. I don't know why you'd want to take the covers off, but you can. Side pouch on this one. And also, as requested, I will set my headrest to the right height, and I can't use it. It's totally unusual. No, can't use the headrest in this, even though it's set full height now. The seats don't split, and they do they? What's that do? Nothing. Why would you put that there then if that doesn't do anything? It must do something, right? No. Okay, that does unlock the seat one side. Oh, there we go. It's the whole seat or nothing. Right, so you have to move the whole seat when you want to drop it. And I have to get out. This is awkward, isn't it? Now I've locked it back into place again. Now, how would you possibly do this? You can't do this on your own. There's two handles on, or there's two buttons on either side, and I have to press that one down and pull the seat forward, or it locks back in again. There, it's pulled out now. That's very awkward. Anyway, it does lie flat. No, not flat, but it lies down. And there's a big step behind it, but it does come down. Okay, so that is an option. I mean, it's not an option, but it gives you options for use. The seats feel like seat covers, like the seat covers you buy in the shop. They're fine, but they're just feel like seat covers. Okay, well the back isn't. It's not much to write home about. Let's have a look in the boot. Right, now boot. Little pressure underneath there, and she opens up for you really quick. It's a good boot. It's plenty of space in it for everything you need, but it fills up fairly quickly. That's all my camera kit in there, my couple of boots as well, and a jacket or two, and it's fairly full. Now it does have shopping bag hooks on both sides. You're going to get a month's worth of shopping in here, fairly handy. You can pull that and look underneath and you'll find all your charging cables and electric vests, or sorry, the yellow vests and that sort of stuff as well to go with it. So it is all self-contained here in the back. That's it. It's a boot. Nothing to write home about, but it works. That's what you want. Right, let's go for a spin in a silent car. Not quite silent, up to 30 kilometers an hour makes a weird noise. So driving the Zoe. It's got a big start button. Whenever you change, there's a little thing up here that allows you to change the menus that are in front of you. And whenever you change, you actually change the sound of the tick-tock as well, belong to the indicator. Start it again. And you get different music every time. And the tick-tock, make music here. Tune out of that. Right, I'm going to stop messing with that now because that's distracting me from a review of this car. Now, first things I have to do is 3-point turn. See how tight of a turn it's got. Turning circle is good. I can tell you straight away that I've gone at a right angle across the road and I'm already turned. Look at that. That's good. I like it. Okay, doors auto lock when you're driving off. It's also, that's a lovely thing as well. And these doors actually operate like normal doors. When you unlock that door, you've unlocked all the doors. Well done, Renault. You're one of the first to actually do that one properly. Now, there's basically only 2 modes in this car. When I say 2 modes, there's either Eco On or Eco Off. And at the moment, I've Eco Off, which turns everything that consumes electricity up to 11. No, it turns it up. So when you put your foot down, you get a frighteningly fast acceleration on this thing. Really does, but its lack of grip also worries the crap out of me. When I do that, it doesn't seem to want to grip. You know, the traction control cuts in and does all sorts of things when you do that. Now, if I press this big fat Eco button, it's like somebody turned the brakes on and the car tames right the way down and will do about 95 kilometers an hour max. That's it. That's not a big worry for me, to be honest with you. Just anything that gives me more range but doesn't really make me uncomfortable, I'm okay with. And by that I mean it turns off the air conditioner, but you can manually turn it back on again. So if you want air in the car, you can have that, or you can turn the AC off entirely, or you can open a window if you really want to. So this doesn't have any sort of resistance alternating way you can change the car to get more resistance as it decelerates. It's got 1 mode only, and that's refreshing. I really like that, Renault. I don't want to have to drive. I want to go go. That's it. That's all the interactions I want with an electric car. I don't want to have to turn up and down the thing, the flappy paddles and the no. I just want to get in and I want to drive it. And that's it. By the way, the most efficient way to drive an electric car is to have the least resistance, not the most resistance. The least resistance means when you decelerate, you take your foot off, you don't get any regeneration thing from the car, but it also means you're coasting. You're using less fuel because you're able to coast. It's debatable, the amount of fuel you get back from resistance in the car. Ergo, a report I read recently, I know it's backed by Volkswagen, so I have to take it with a grain of salt because their cars don't have resistance in them. But generally speaking, only when you're going down a big hill like I'm on right now will you get anything. And even when you get something, it's almost negligible what you get from resistance. So you're better off, if you're using resistance paddles, to turn it off completely and let the car just coast on. It's much more efficient and kinder into the environment. Now to drive, it does feel very top heavy and you're on balance because you're sitting so high up in the car that every bump makes you feel that sensation, and there's next to zero side lateral support in the seats. Doesn't make it uncomfortable, it's the opposite. It's incredibly comfortable, but it doesn't give you much resistance when you're turning around a corner and you're starting to slide out of your seat. I really do appreciate what the Zoe is all about and what Renault is trying to do with the electric cars. They were one of the first. The Renault ZEs in Ireland were one of the first electric cars ever to hit the market, along with the Nissan Leaf that came out at the same time. They're all run off the same platform due to the Renault-Nissan Alliance. Basically, they all run the same systems. A few weeks back, I was in France with the Renault Group looking at their autonomous Zoes for taxis out there. And we discussed having a 7-seat Zoe as well, which was also on the cards. So it's an incredibly bright future for what's Zoe, not 7, sorry. I'll rephrase that. It's a 6-seat Zoe, not 7, 2, 4, 6 seats. But we did talk about having a 6-seat Zoe out there at the time. So it's an incredible future that Zoe has and that Renault have with electric cars. They still managed to make something that's achievable, affordable, but properly stylish. And that's exactly what this car is. The exterior of this is cute. It is stylish. It looks well on the road. And I think that makes the big difference for me when it comes to Zoe, is that a lot of the cars, we take Nissan Leaf, it's very sharp. It's very Japanese. Even going to Toyota Prius and stuff, it's very loud, isn't it? Even going into Toyota Prius and all, it's a challenge to look at. You know, they're difficult cars to look at. Not forgoing their abilities, but to look at, they just look a bit weird. This doesn't. This looks like a cute 5-door hatchback, and that's where I wanted to be when it comes to Zoe as well, is to be a proper cute 5-door hatchback. Zoe is growing up a little bit, and I appreciate what it's going to do. I don't know where it's all going to land for electric cars. I have a sneaking suspicion there's an awful move right now to get hydrogen on the flow as well, which is another factor that will come into it along with electric cars, because really electric batteries aren't, when you start doing the maths, it's very easy to figure out that electric batteries aren't really paying for themselves for a few years. You know, it takes time. The purchase price is much higher. If you put a 1-litre petrol engine to this car, you'd probably sell it for less than 20 grand, you know. And it'd probably be more or less as efficient. Anyway, the Zoe is available in your dealership right now. 300-kilometer range, what you're going to get out of it. This one does not have a fast charger on it, so this one can charge up to I think it's 22 kilowatts is the max charge you're going to be able to put into this. There's a charge point at my house called EV Box, which has replaced my Electric Ireland one. Brilliantly done by Mulher Electrical, very professional installation and instruction. I have an app, I can see what's going on in the house at home. It's brilliant in actual fact. Very simple. It can tell me how many kilowatt hours I've charged my cars up with and all that sort of stuff. And the wire is permanently connected. So definitely worth checking out. EV Box is very good, but definitely the one I can 100% recommend on the installation is Mulher Electrical, as they installed mine. So you can talk to Des in Mulher if you want to get all the details. Anyway, I'm glad you watched this far into the video. You should at this point have hit subscribe at least once, and the little bell icon beside it, because that tells you what's going on in the channel. You know, if I post something or do something, it's always useful to see the little bell icon up. But maybe by now you've learned all you need to know about the Renault Zoe, or at least you're ready to ask some questions down in the comments. There's all kinds, I'm going to shut that up. There's all kinds of links down below for t-shirts, if you want to have t-shirts. One's about bring back the knobs and see on the far side. That sort of t-shirt is down there as well. I'll be getting one in a few weeks. I've ordered a few as well for myself. You can help the channel by buying them if you want. Like, there's a little cutout of that from Teespring. You can also go to the Amazon affiliates link down there as well and get something from my shop, which is all the stuff I use to make these videos with. But also down there, if you want to directly support the channel, the best way to do it is through PayPal, direct donation, or you can go through Patreon, the Patreon account, which you can give a little drip feed money every month. It'll be absolutely brilliant because the channel is unsupported. I have never been sponsored by car companies to make these videos, so I make no money from car companies. So until the next time, I will see you on the far side.